Yoo-hoo! Yeah, you know who it is. That's right. Oh, dark 30, early morning time, and welcome back to the Todd Durkin Impact Show. And today is unique. It's a first. It's a first today in What is a Hero and Meet Mine. I'm actually recording today's podcast from a very special place. I'm in Nassau. Not Nassau, Long Island, but I'm in Nassau, Bahamas. Yes, today's episode's coming at you from the Nassau, Bahamas, and I'm so excited to be sharing here on this kickoff is What is a Hero and Meet Mine. And truth be told, right now I got my gray hoodie on. If you're not watching YouTube, you're listening in. I got my gray hoodie on. I'm still sweating. I've got my MyZone heart rate belt on, and I went into the gym for a 30-minute workout. And I walked out an hour and a half later feeling like $1 million. Has anyone ever played that game with themselves? Like, hey, I'm going to go out for a 10 or 20-minute walk, or I was going to do a 30-minute workout. And the next thing you know, you're clanging and banging and you keep going. Well, truth be told, this morning I was with my man, Gus Cheliotis. I'm down here in the Bahamas for a speaking engagement for Gus's company called Nassau. Not related to Nassau, Bahamas. They're from Nassau, Long Island, and their top performers are down here, and I'm firing them up. Got a keynote here this afternoon, all about impact amplified in 5 ways to create a legacy. And then tomorrow we got a workout, and we got some great things happening down here. But we went in the gym this morning, and we got after it. And I was like, Gus, we only got 30 minutes. I got to prep for the keynote and do the podcast for y'all. An hour and a half later. So you listen, you never regret a great workout. Can I get an amen to that? Anybody, as you're out walking, jogging, running right now, or clanging and banging yourself, you never regret a great workout. And if you're like me, sometimes you even got to fool yourself to say, I'm just going to take the Jersey dog for a 10-minute walk. 45 minutes later, you're doing push-ups and squats and everything else, but you never regret a great workout. Let me repeat, you'll never regret that. So I'm really excited. It's going to be a great few days down here in the Bahamas. And I want to remind you, before I get into What is a Hero, to make sure that you get your Mellow Yellow on the calendar. I got my wife Melanie down here, and anytime I have the opportunity to travel with her, it's better. It's a better trip. But get the Mellow Yellow on your calendar like a great workout. The last I heard someone ever complain that they took a vacation was never. So let's get it in. Get your Mellow Yellow, your PSA announcement here before the Impact Show actually gets rolling into Heroes is I'm super fired up. As a matter of fact, if you happen to be watching on YouTube, let me give you a quick show right now, because what a sight I have here. You may have a little noise discrepancy, but just imagine right now if you're listening. Oh, you can see the Bahamas all behind me. You got blue water. You got cruise ships coming into the Nassau, Bahamas. Absolutely great time. And take a deep breath in. Even if you can't see, just take a deep breath in into some Mellow Yellow time, my friends. Because today I want to talk about heroes. Heroes and what they are. Who are some of mine growing up? Who are some of mine now? How can you be a hero? What's it take to be a hero? What's the definition of a hero? And that's been on my heart. Matter of fact, I'm starting a new series today, just like we had the Chasing Greatness series in 2022. This What is a Hero series is going to be, I'm going to feature a few folks who I believe are heroes in their own right. And sometimes we think of heroes, you've got this visual in your mind of what a hero is, but I'm going to hopefully redefine what a hero is in your mind, because I want to remind you of the power within each and every one of us to be a hero every day. Maybe it's your son or your daughter. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe it's your coworkers, your colleagues, your employer or your employees. But we all have the opportunity to be a hero in our own right. And I want to encourage you today as you get going, as you're listening in. Maybe you're a student in high school or college. Maybe you're a grandma, you're a grandpa. Maybe you're a parent. Maybe you're someone who's holding on by a thread. I want to remind you of the power within each of you right now and anoint you with that wisdom, that energy, that courage, and that confidence that you have in you right now, what it takes to be a hero. So what is a hero? What is a hero, and what's the definition of a hero? And as I kind of think about this down here in the islands, what is a hero? Well, part of my talks this year for Perform Better, which is Perform Better. If you're in the fitness industry, Perform Better because there's events all around the country we speak at. And this year, my talk happens to be Legendary, 7 Principles to Create a Legendary Business Career and Life. So how do you be legendary? How do you be legendary? And what I talk about in that is, well, when you define your life, I always say this: the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. The purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. So are you on point right now? Do you need to redirect your purpose? You need to remember why you're doing what you're doing. So think about that. You have a purpose to live. What is that? Sir Winston Churchill, by the way, who is a hero? I love studying Winston Churchill. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give, says Churchill. And then Ken Coleman, who I've been listening to for years, your purpose is to use what you do best, which is your talent, to do work that you love, which is passion, to produce results that matter most to you. That's your mission. So I hear here passion, purpose, talent, and mission. When you're mission driven, mission centric, when you go on a crusade to change lives or to change the world the way we think, that becomes a mission. And you have your passion. And whether that passion is coming through a podcast, through a YouTube, through an art that you do, through a training session, through your client communications, whatever that is, because you've heard me say this before. Live a life worth telling a story about what's your story. And to me, a hero is someone who epitomizes that. How do you live your life so that someday they're telling a story about you? Every day, each and every day that you show up, how do you live a life worth telling a story about? To me, a hero is someone who inspires someone. A hero is someone who motivates and inspires someone to be their best, whatever that is. You don't have to have a certain title or a fancy job, a corner office. You don't have to make millions. You don't have to make 6 figures. You don't have to make 5 figures. It's not about the monetary. It's about the mission inside of you. When someone looks up to you and says, you've changed my life, you can be a hero. So what does that mean? Well, in my talks, what I talk about like today is my overarching question is, who do you want to be a hero to? Who is it that you want to inspire? Who is it you want to motivate? Today, this week, this month, this year of 2023, as you listen in, and as we kick off this series on heroes, I think of some of my heroes in the past, right? And some of my growing up, who are my heroes now, and even in general, right? So growing up, my dad, my father was my hero. My father. And if you've ever heard my story, it's interesting that as I record this, it happens to be on my dad's, what would have been his 89th birthday. His 89th birthday. I'm recording this episode today on February 6th, 2023. As I record this, I try to stay a week or two ahead. And he would have been 89 years old today. And here I am. And that's why I want to do it today, is because my dad was my hero and he still inspires me today. But if you've followed my story at all, my mom and dad got divorced when I was just 5 years old. And then my dad came back into my life when I was 10. And between 5 and 10, they're very impressionable years. If you have kids who are in that age category of right around 5 to 10, very impressionable. And the people, the coaches, the teachers, the influences in your life can greatly impact the direction that you go in life. Fortunately for me, when my dad came back into my life and moved back into New Jersey, he encouraged me to not just do soccer, which I was finding great success in, but also to try 3 other sports: football, basketball, and baseball. And at first I didn't want to do that, but he said, try it for a season and see if you like it. And I tried football and did really well in football. I still remember him bribing me. I mean, not bribing. He said, for every touchdown pass in your first game against St. Joseph's, now Monsignor Donovan, if you throw a touchdown pass, you get a pizza. And if you run a touchdown, you get a soda. Well, I threw for 2 and ran for 2 in my first game, and I was hooked on football ever since. I got 2 pizzas and 2 sodas after the game, and still remember that. Parents, do you bribe your kids too? It was real back then. It still is real now. But that was age 10, and from age 10 to 20, I had more of a hero and father in my life than most people have in a lifetime. My father passed away when I was just 20 years old. I was a junior in college, and he died of a heart attack at age 58. Age 58 years old when my pops passed. And let me tell you what, when you think about your parents, whether they're living or they passed, you think about the lessons that you've learned, good and bad, right? My father taught me about the value of time. And as a father now of 3 kids, 20, 17, and 14, I think about the value of time. When I say a hero is someone who influences the way you think, the way you operate, the way you act, to me, that's what a hero is. That's the definition of a hero. And my father was my first hero in my life. And I always tried to look up to him and please him and make him proud of me. My mom was also a hero, and she still is. At 89 years young, my mom epitomizes the word love. And many times, parents don't get enough credit, right? Can I get an amen, moms and dads? Kids, thank your moms and dads for the jobs that they do and the sacrifices they make. But my mom, God bless her, she's 89 years old and still going strong. Love Mama Durkin. But you think about love. She raised 8 of us, 8 kids as a single mom, and the sacrifices and commitments. Mom's a hero. Mom's a hero, and she has done a great job, not only raising 8 kids, but also the grandkids and all the surrogate kids that would hang out at Durkin household on 13 Edgewood Drive in Brick, New Jersey. And of course, Coach Wolf. Coach Wolf was a hero growing up. And Coach Wolf, from the time I was 5 years old and my brother Paul was playing high school football and winning the first state championship, I would hang at the fence watching this silver fox, the man in the gray suit, come up with the black high tops, thinking that's an iconic figure. I'm not sure who this guy is, but I could tell by the reverence and respect that he got from everyone as he walked onto the field. I'm like, I want to be like that guy someday. And I watched him, and then he started watching me as I went through Pop Warner and became a Pop Warner All-American and went through high school and earned a college scholarship through his program. And I learned so many lessons from him, and I can have a whole episode just on him. But one of them that still really speaks to me today is the one time I think I ever got yelled at by Coach Wolf. I think it was my sophomore year. I was starting. It was a scrimmage, and I was running the option offense. It was this wing T option. And I remember I was down near the goal line, and I was running this Syracuse freeze option. And I must have been too mechanical because I got whacked in the ear hole, and I got up and there was mud in my face mask, and he grabs my face mask. Yeah, you could do that back then. Hallelujah. You could do that. He grabs my face mask filled with mud. He says, Durkin, you gotta loosen up and play football. You're playing too robotic. You're playing too tight. Loosen up and play ball like you know how. And I could feel my brain being juggled around as he rattled my face mask, but I could still feel it and think about it today. Durkin, loosen up and play. Don't play so robotic. Now, if you're from Brick, you can hear Coach Wolf's voice as I'm saying, Durkin, loosen up and play. Don't play so robotic. The 5 P's. You gotta have perfect practice produces peak performance. And it's Labor Day. That's when we do labor, and labor some more. If you've been with me for any length of time, at least since Labor Day, that always happens on Labor Day. But now I hear Coach Wolf's voice in dreams. Like, don't play so robotic, loosen up. Can anyone relate to that message right now? My hero, Coach Wolf, growing up, to the point when he would come down when I was in college, and after Pops passed away, again, I was a junior. Coach Wolf on a Friday night would get in the car after a football game of him still coaching, drive down 7.5 hours to William Mary to not only just watch a college football game, but to give me a handshake. And in that handshake, he'd have a $100 bill. And Coach Wolf would slip me some money so that I can live and have a little extra spending cash. I guess it was then. Now it's kind of like a little mini NIL deal. I was the first paid athlete. No, I was just a father-like figure, making sure that his adopted son, so to speak, had some spending money for the week. You know what it's like now to give a kid a handshake with a hundo in it? Every now and then you do that and you think back, and that was Coach Wolf, my hero, doing little things like that, because I know I wasn't the only one every now and then that it would slip some spending money so that you could live. I think back, my dad, my mom, Coach Wolf, even athletes growing up. I was watching Dr. J, Julius Erving, number 6 for the Philadelphia 76ers. It was Andrew Toney, Mo Cheeks. It was Moses Malone. All these guys were playing basketball. I remember they were winning championships in the 80s, and I was watching Dr. J. I was watching the New York Football Giants. And at that point, they were winning the Super Bowl in 1986 and then again later on, but it was Phil Simms and Joe Morris and LT, Lawrence Taylor. I still say LT is LaDainian Tomlinson, but the original LT, Lawrence Taylor, I remember watching him and Harry Carson and all these guys that were winning. They were heroes in some rights, right? Because athletes, whether they want to or not, when you're a young kid and if you like sports and you're an athlete growing up, I loved watching those New York Giants. I loved watching those guys compete, and it would be cold in the Meadowlands. And man, these were some of my heroes growing up. I love looking up to athletes and the coaches in my life. And I still remember even a teacher, Mrs. Whitaker, 4th grade. Man, she changed my life. Mrs. Whitaker, a 4th grade teacher. Like, who's Mrs. Whitaker? Well, I was chosen to take Crystal, the class guinea pig, home that summer to tend to Crystal, the guinea pig. And why was Mrs. Whitaker a hero to me? Because she believed in me. She believed in me because at that point in my life, when I was in the 4th grade and Dad wasn't in my life, I was going down the wrong route and I was in fights, and I was almost that kid who had a grudge on his shoulder, walking around ticked off at the world. But Mrs. Whitaker showed me what it was like for a teacher to believe in their student. And when she said that you've been chosen to take Crystal home, I don't know if I was the only student that actually wanted Crystal, the guinea pig, to come home. But let me tell you what, I soon realized the power that a student or a teacher could have on a student. And Mrs. Whitaker taught me that lesson then. Well, how about now? Who are some of my heroes now in my life, even as a grown man at 51 years young? Funny, I mention age because one of my heroes is Pastor Jeremiah. Dr. J, the new Dr. J, I call him. I had Dr. J, the basketball player, growing up, and now I got Dr. J, Pastor Jeremiah, who I've had the opportunity to train now for about 7 years. You talk about a man who inspires me and fires me up at 83 years old and spitting out books like it's his job, which every year he spits out a new book. Not just spits it out, a New York Times best-selling book will come out. But I learned so much from Pastor Jay when he comes in, and like, man, I know that name. You probably see him on TV on Sundays. If you're in San Diego, he's the pastor of Shadow Mountain Church, and I have the great opportunity to speak to chapel with 800 kids at Christian schools twice a year. But Pastor Jeremiah is a hero because he motivates and inspires people in the Word to draw closer to God and nearer to their faith, and how they can live a life driven by purpose, a divine purpose, not just by what they want, but what God wants for you. And I listen to Pastor Jay in my talks, and he's like, he'll say, Todd, I'm feeling extra inspired today. I love the energy. I'm like, no, Doc. But one of the things that he said to me once is, he said, Todd, you're like a pastor in your own right because everything you do is a ministry. And that spoke to me because I think about heroes as you don't have to go around necessarily all the time with your vernacular. It's but by how you carry yourself, by what you say is important, by what you do is even more important. Because if you have children or if you influence kids, they're watching more than even they're listening. So by what you say is important, by what you do is even more important. I think about Pastor Jay and how he's inspired me as a hero now. He inspires millions inspires millions of people to draw closer to their faith. But for me personally, he's one who inspires me to do my best every day. I'm like, if Dr. J can do that, I can do it as well. And hence, even on this podcast, as my intentions is, we have some heroes coming up. You're going to hear from some of my heroes, both on a big level and a level that maybe just someone who is in their own walk of life, who's not famous, who's not legendary, but who influences a lot of people on that. One of those folks is Jack LaLanne, the late Jack LaLanne. Matter of fact, next week, you're going to hear from Elaine LaLanne. She's part of my Hero series. In my Hero series, Elaine LaLanne, who had the incredible opportunity to challenge Jack LaLanne, who was like, Jack LaLanne, who is that? Oh, if you don't know Jack LaLanne, shame on you. All you boys and girls, like, who's Jack LaLanne? Don't worry. Next week's episode is mandatory listening. Got to listen to Elaine LaLanne. 96 years young. She is still on fire for life. But you talk about someone who has impacted the world. If you're a coach, trainer, fitness pro, a life transformer, Jack LaLanne is the godfather of fitness. And if you're someone who is, I'll just say 40 years old or older, you have probably either remembered the Jack LaLanne TV show for 34 years, I think it was. I worked out at Jack LaLanne's gym in the 1980s and 90s in Brick, New Jersey. And if you remember the Jack LaLanne juicer, oh, that's how I remember Jack LaLanne. Yeah, Jack LaLanne is an icon. He's a hero. And man, I don't want to get emotional. I'll wait till next week to get emotional on that. But I think about even now what I do. Heck, this afternoon when I'm firing up, 60 plus high performers for Nassau, the company Nassau Financial Group here. I think about the top performers and why they're down here. I'm going to think about Jack LaLanne. He inspired me and some of the physical feats to do what I'm going to do today and tomorrow as I bring them through a workout. Fitness has brought me all around the world. Heck, I'm doing a podcast now from the Bahamas. I should be out, with the steel drums. Huh? What do you think? We should have been doing this out with the steel drums, having a virgin pina colada with a little bit of extra protein in there. But Jack LaLanne is someone who inspired me. He's a hero of mine now. I mentioned my mom is still a hero to me. And honestly, people who inspire me and a hero is our military men and women. When I see a man or woman in uniform, I think about the sacrifices and commitment that they make every single day away from their families, many of them, whether on deployment or not, the commitments they make to their country. You talk about iconic, you talk about commitment, you talk about venerable, you talk about service. These are true heroes. These are true heroes. And I want to thank all of our men and women who serve us. And it doesn't need to be Veterans Day. It doesn't need to be a certain holiday. It ain't a holiday. Back to Coach Wolf. This is an epic one right here. Like the hero episode. It's like a montage of my favorite men and women and people. But the service men and women, if you're listening right now, thank you. Not only do you inspire me, I know you're heroes to all of our country and men and women who are extremely grateful. So in general, heroes could be everyday people. They could be people who inspire you on some level. I think back to some of the more popular heroes, the Churchills. I mentioned Winston Churchill. I think of Gandhi. Certainly he's a hero. I think of Desmond Tutu. He's a hero. I think of Mother Teresa. She certainly was a hero. And why are they heroes? At least in my mind, these are heroes because they serve people and they change lives. And some of them had incredible experiences in their life, and they've been through hell and back. And some of them have been imprisoned and gone through a lot of tragedy or failure in their lives. And we can go on and on, but I would love to know who are some of your heroes. Who are some of the people who've inspired you, living or dead? People who went generations before us, or people who were just decades before us, or people who are living? Who are some of the people who have impacted the way you think, the way you operate, what you do, what you say, and how you do it? So my final question to you today is this. Out of all the people who have been heroes to you in your past, or who are heroes to you today, I'd like to know this. How can you be a hero? How can you be a hero? Now, I've got 3 ways that I believe that each and every one of us, myself included, can be a hero to the people who we influence. Because if there's ever a time, if there's ever a day that you and I can motivate and inspire even more, like in the beginning of 2023, when I said, why wait? My theme for 2023 is why wait? Why wait to put out a hero series? Why wait to get down to the Bahamas and motivate and inspire 60 people to do an even better job? Why wait to go to the San Diego Rescue Mission, which I spoke at earlier this week, and say, why wait? 350 beds of homeless people. Why wait to step into your greatness? Why wait to step into your divine purpose that God has anointed you to step into your hero? Because you are a hero. You can be a hero. Yes, you can be a hero. But here's the 3 ways on how to do it. Number 1, write them down if you're taking notes, even on your phone. Take notes or take a snapshot right now of this episode. Share it to your stories and say, you can be a hero too. Or I'm stepping into my hero today, because there's a part of us. There's this superhero part of us. Like my good friend Amanda Middleman would say, put the cape on, put your superhero cape on when you got to suck it up a little bit. Number 1, how can you be a hero? Do things the right way. Do things the right way. If you want to be a hero, do things the right way. Now, you're like, oh, that sounds like integrity. Yes, it is, my friends. Integrity. What is integrity? Integrity is doing the right things when no one else is watching. When you're living with integrity and your soul is at peace because you know you're doing things the right way, then you find peace and more fulfillment. Now, I know that's deep, but when you know that you're doing things the right way when no one else is watching, and that you can live with yourself, and you're not living a lie, and you're not living with this imposter syndrome that many people will go through, stop. Snap your band right now and stop thinking that you're an imposter. Stop thinking that you're not living the right way. Now, if you're not, then clean her up. And this is your call to action. But many people are here like, hey, I feel like, I'm an imposter. Stop that. No, there's always these times if you're playing that comparison game and you're looking at other things of like, oh, I'm trying. Keep striving to be your best. But always making sure at your core, at your North Star, you're doing everything possible to live your best life, doing it the right way. It's not worth ever doing it the wrong way, ever. Do it the right way, do things the right way, and that is integrity. Number 2 of my 3 of how you can be a hero. How can you be a hero? Number 2 is serve people. Serve people. Now, someone once said, I'm really searching for my purpose. I was asked that a few weeks ago. I need to find my purpose. And by the way, this was someone who was in their 50s. Their 50s. I'm seeking a deeper purpose. I understand that. I understand that language is we're seeking a deeper purpose, because maybe if you're like me, like, how can I tap even deeper into my gifts to serve more people? Well, if right now you're searching for your purpose, and whether, I don't care if you're in your teens, your 20s, or your 50s, or your 80s, the way you discover your purpose is you serve more people. Because when you serve more people, your purpose gets discovered. Let me repeat. When you serve more people, your purpose gets discovered. Because when you're serving people, guess what happens? You get feedback from these people, And these people will help guide you. You're like, oh, I feel really fulfilled when I serve at the rescue mission, or I serve in this philanthropic event, or when I'm serving this athletic team, I feel like I'm on point. I feel like when I'm doing this job that I'm serving people in the right manner. So instead of trying to just think about what your purpose is, I would applaud you for that. But the key is rolling up the sleeves, kind of like I got my short sleeve gray hoodie on today. Take a deep breath in. If you just take a deep breath in right now, you could probably still smell me from that workout this morning. Yeah, good. This is good. But serve your people, serve your tribe, serve your community. Whatever community in, whatever tribe you're in, small or large, just serve within it, and you'll discover your purpose even more. And that helps you serve more people, which then you will become, quote, a hero within that community because of the 5, 10, 50, 500, 5,000, 50,000, 5 million, whatever it is. It's not about the numbers. It's about the people whom you're serving. So serve more people. Very closely related, number three, how can you be a hero is this. If you want to be a hero, not just serve people, but help enough people solve their problems. Help enough people solve their problems. Here's what I want to implore you today as you help enough people. If you come from a servant mentality to help enough people, this is clear. Just keep being you, the most authentic version of you. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, decade after decade, just keep being your authentic self. Consistency, discipline, integrity. This helps build your reputation, and your reputation precedes legacy. Let me repeat, consistency, discipline, integrity. This helps build your reputation, and your reputation precedes legacy. Now, it might take a decade to really build your reputation. Just be careful, because if it takes a decade to build your reputation, you could also destroy your reputation in a day. And I don't want you doing that. That's why I want you to live with the integrity of that hero. So know this. When I say that maybe you haven't even met the best version of you yet, maybe you haven't even stepped into the best version of you yet, closely related to number 3 is help enough people is think about what is it going to take for me to step into the best version of me, that hero version, that heroic version of me. Who is that? I want to remind you that there's no man or woman alive that roams this earth that's perfect. Nobody. There's only one perfect person, and we all know who that was, right? But I think it's going to take a great effort to overcome obstacles, challenges, achievements, whatever it is, any feats that you have to do, entrepreneurially, athletically, at the home front. Here's my challenge to you. And when I say there's only one person, and you're a person of faith, and you believe in God, that's what all of us strive to do, right? How can I be more godlike? How can I really step into that? Because all of us could do a better job with that. That's what I strive for with everything that I do. But how do you step into the best version of you? I do want to remind you as I end today's episode is this. My challenge to you, my challenge today and this week, as this goes into our hero series, and over the next several weeks, you hear from some of my heroes, is this. You're a hero already. Someone's looking up to you. Someone depends on you. Someone needs your words of affirmation. Someone needs your encouragement. Yes, you. It's not that title that you have that's important. You don't need a certain title. Your title as man or woman, your name is absolutely imperative. So you're a hero. And I'm speaking to everyone who's listening today. Teachers, you're a hero. Coaches, you're a hero. Doctors, you're a hero. Nurses, you're a hero. Paramedics, you're a hero. Moms and dads, you're a hero. Volunteers, you're a hero. Police officers, you're a hero. Firefighters, you're a hero. Athletes, you can be a hero. Entrepreneurs, you're a hero. Pastors and clergy, men and women, you're a hero. Trainers, fit pros, life transformers, you can be a hero also. So my friends, today, I want to remind you, you can be a hero. Step into the best version of you today. Make a difference. Make a difference today. Go out there and be a hero today. I am so excited for this Hero series to launch. I hope that you enjoyed the Hero Part 1 episode today about how you can be a hero. What is a hero? And you met some of my heroes, past and even present heroes today. And today I want to hear from you. A hero. And some of those heroic people that A, you've learned from, and B, who you're going to inspire to step into the best version of themselves. I hope that today's message inspires you to step into the best version of you. And I hope that these next several weeks of some of the heroes that I want to feature, men and women from all walks of life, will inspire you to step into the best version of you. It's time for me to go inspire some folks here in the Bahamas, and I'm gonna get some mellow yellow time. We're gonna relax and enjoy the beautiful air of the Bahamas, and let this be a reminder for you to get some mellow yellow time in your life. If it's not scheduled, you're feeling tired, you're feeling burnout, get the mellow yellow time, and that's gonna allow you to step into your best version and to be a hero as well. God bless you, have an incredible day, and remember, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and go create impact today. Be a hero, baby. Be a hero. Peace. We out.